Hi guys, Bob here, and today I was wanting to talk to you about the advantages and disadvantages of moving from one program to another. So moving from the Rebelle to Sketchbook. So this is me drawing in Rebelle. As you can see, you've got the canvas texture, you've got the watercolour effect, which you'll see me using in a wee minute, and I'll try and slow some of these down as well as I talk through some of the advantages, disadvantages to doing this. So my main package is Rebelle. I use Rebelle mostly to start my drawings, but recently I've been struggling with getting the details into Rebelle, and I don't know whether it's my tablet or something else. What I decided to do was move back to Sketchbook Pro. I know that a lot of people watching my channel do like Sketchbook, and a lot of the views I'm getting are to do with Sketchbook. So I thought I'll go back and try Sketchbook again because I couldn't remember entirely all the things that I liked about it, some of the things I didn't like about it. So I took this drawing from Rebelle into Sketchbook and decided to try some of the effects that we can get in Sketchbook. Initially would be the solid pens that we can get and making some outline, doing some alterations, but ultimately I like the glow brushes. The glow brushes are some of the best tools that I found, because it means you don't lose entirely the colour, kind of burns the colour or makes it brighter, and you get these lovely effects which just make an image pop. It's a lovely tool, and I like the different texture versions that you get. You can make your own glow brush tool to get a different effect all yet again, but it does, and you'll see me using the glow brush quite a lot throughout this process of bringing this drawing to what I would say is the end of it. And I do move Sketchbook Pro version back into Rebelle near the end, do some fine adjustments, but there's again some problems with doing that. So as you can see, I was just trying out all the tools again, the perspective tool and perspective line, just to try and show like an explosion or something behind this girl, and just going through each of the tools, remembering what they did, trying all the different brushes out. And it's a good thing to do, like I've always said, experiment with all the brushes, because that's what you'll find. Now I did move on to doing another drawing in Sketchbook, and we'll get to that a bit later, just from scratch, totally using Sketchbook, just to see how I got on and to try and remember why did I like it and why did I move away from it. So one of the biggest disadvantages of moving from Rebelle to Sketchbook is that you lose the, as you can see, this paper's got a texture to it. Rebelle is fantastic for that. There's loads of different papers that you can get that actually they interact with the paint, and when you move from Rebelle 7 to Sketchbook, you have this issue where you lose the texture of the paint as you start to do things in Sketchbook, which is not ideal. There is some tools that don't lose the texture effect, like the burn tool and the dodge tools that are in the downloadable part of Sketchbook, but it is an issue that I lose some of that texture from the canvas. But I still wanted to keep going and see what I could get and see what I did. A minute ago you might have seen me flip the canvas and then sort the face. Now what you should do is you should always flip your canvas. I'll put it on the screen just now, and you'll be able to see that the face didn't look quite right when I flipped the canvas horizontally, and that's something to keep in mind. Just try those types of things just to get your drawings correct. So I wasn't quite sure. This image started as a copy of a Hamrib. She's a YouTube artist, really good. She does a lot of watercolour, and I wanted to see if I could replicate that effect in Rebelle 7. And I felt it went quite well, especially at the beginning. And then my brain takes over. I don't really like doing exact copies. My brain takes over and I do weird stuff with my images. So for example here, when I brought this into Sketchbook, I started to see a water scene on the kind of down below the neck area. And later on in Sketchbook I started using the cloud brush, I think it's called. I'll find out what it actually is called, the cloud brush, I'm pretty sure it is. I'll put it on the screen. And you'll notice that I used it, then my brain seen an image, it's seen a figure, and I played with that figure to figure out, hey. But here we go, I think it's somewhere around here. I start using it and this figure appears in my brain, and then I make it appear a bit more in part of the image. This part here is, like I said, it's kind of a water image, and I seen something, shark, Godzilla, something coming towards the shore. And this is where I use a cloud brush to bring out the image of the person, and I was just I like the cloud look. It's a really great brush, so definitely try it out if you've got a sketchbook. Started seeing this figure maybe pointing to the face in the sky, and then I seen a girl kind of in a dress sitting, and I just kept going to see how that shadow turned out and what it might be. Eventually, I think it turned into somebody throwing something, or that's what I had in my brain, and I thought it went quite well. Just again, I like oddness in my images. I like just to see what happens when I'm drawing, rather than just sticking to a reference. People keep asking me to draw something, like in real life, my wife asked me to draw something. I started drawing and it looks okay, it's a decent enough image, but I just found it quite mundane to draw. It wasn't something that just came out of my brain, it was something that was pre-planned, and this is what they asked for, and these were the things that they wanted to see in the image, and it totally stifles my brain from seeing things and enjoying the process of drawing. So you've kind of got to find that out as well. What makes you tick? What brings about your drawing enjoyment? Is it a particular character? Is it a particular world that you like to draw? And this is, for me, like, again, just trying different things with face paint and, give me a second. Yeah, so just trying to figure out, I had to kind of go away there if there's an interruption to this audio, but I had to go away there. But ultimately, I brought it into Sketchbook, and I really just enjoyed some of the aspects of Sketchbook. Some of the really like black and white Sketchbook, you can really come up with images, and some of the brushes really bring out different characters that just appear. So again, trying all the tools, fill tools, to see what happened, and really working on this little figure in the foreground that's either, I don't know, it's a difficult one. I like people to figure out in their own brains what they can see. Again, I went back to the glow brush here to add some details. I love the glow brush. I really think it helped with my hair. It really brought some texture to the hair, and whether you think so, you can let me know in the comments. That would be appreciated. But as I said, just different things you can undo, you can redo, you keep stage versions of your drawings, what I do. And really played with the glow brush about some sort of light coming in and hitting the face as well, just bringing out some of the details of the drawing. So you've got this kind of mix of watercolour, chalk, and then pure digital drawings and textures, which I think works well. It's my thing, it's what works in my brain. I bring out these characters which I don't really know. Some of them are inspired. I had watched Leon recently, so there was a bit of Leon inspiration there earlier on. And then, I don't know, it's just different things. Jaws is one of my favourite movies. But yeah, what do you see? Let me know in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated. What would you like me to talk about? I mean, I've had a few people, I had somebody message me about doing art lessons, and it's not something I've done. I do lessons with people I know, but I don't do it professionally or anything like that. But what is it that you would like to see? What is it you're struggling with? Let me know in the comments, and then I can make a video to do with that. So we're continuing to add detail. I do like the little puck icons in Sketchbook. They really give you quite a bit of freedom with opacity, flow, colour, and it's quite quick access. That's a big thing about Sketchbook that always intrigued me, was their ability to do menus without squashing everything. When I go back to Rebelle later on in this video, you'll see that Rebelle has everything just kind of stuck in the middle. You can delete it, you can press the tab button, it'll take away all the menus, but you've got to hit tab to bring them back. You can do different things. I don't know, Sketchbook just seems to work, and it would be nice if other programs took that up as their kind of setup. Another package that I've been using recently is Infinite Painter. I bought a tablet for my Christmas. My daughter seems to have inherited it, and I struggled to get time on it, and we keep going and seeing what happens with the different aspects of the drawing. When's a drawing finished? When do you know that a drawing's finished? I don't think any of us know. We just have to make a decision. Sometimes we go too far, and quite often, I've said this before, is when I record my videos and I'm watching them back, I think, oh, I wish I'd just stopped at that point. With this image, I didn't really find that as much. There are certain aspects I like the original, the woman, and the watercolor aspects of that drawing, but I then like the imagination that comes out as you develop an image, and you see, like I says, when you're using these special brushes, they just bring things out. You look at references, you go online, you watch a movie. Furiosa, for example, was I watched recently, so there's a wee bit of inspiration, I guess, somewhere in my brain that's coming out with some Mad Max kind of theme to it. But yeah, I would love to know what you think. So I was getting near the end of this, and like I said, I decided to put it back into Rebelle, do some adjustments. Some of them I deleted, some of them I kept. And then I decided to just start with a blank canvas on Sketchbook. I really wanted to see, why is it that I use Rebelle over Sketchbook? And it's not that I love Sketchbook, I do, but Rebelle was something that came along, and you can watch my other videos if you want. But there's just something so natural about using Rebelle that I really, really love. There is an affiliate link in the description if you are going to go buy it. There is sometimes discounts around Christmas time, etc., so you might want to hold off. It is a powerful bit of kit, but it does require quite a powerful PC, whereas Sketchbook runs on most things, including tablets. I'm using it on my tablet as well, so might be doing some videos on that at some point in the future. So I'm just working on some of the details here, some of the glow details, and when I get to the end, I'll put the image, the finalized image, in before we jump to Sketchbook and talking about doing images in that particular package. And we jump over to Sketchbook, where I started drawing and then thought I better record this. Initially it's trying to find what brushes and pencils work, and I really struggle with that in Sketchbook compared to Rebelle. There's ones that just feel natural, but I found this basic pencil. And started drawing this reference image. So it's just a portrait drawing that I'm doing. It's a simple image that I had a pencil drawing of a woman's face, and I just started messing around with different smudge brushes, air brushes, just to try and find what was working for me and what wasn't. Now, that is what I find about Sketchbook. My biggest gripe with Sketchbook is it feels very digital. It feels very much like a digital painting. There's not much natural feeling to it, whereas Rebelle has a lot of watercolors, oils. They look better on the canvas. But if I was going for pure digital drawing, then Sketchbook certainly ticks the boxes. But I do think that if you are trying to learn digital art and you're really struggling to get the look that you want, you do need to go and try out different packages. I would strongly recommend Rebelle if you've got the PC to do it. If not, I would definitely go for Infinite Painter on the tablet and buy the full version of it. It's not very dear from memory. So I like Sketchbook. It's got a lot of good things going for it. It's great as a sketchbook, to be honest. It's great for just jotting down an idea, but maybe not getting the finalised product of what you're looking for. So I just kept looking through the different brushes to see what was working. There's a good skin texture brush which works quite well. I do like the artist package concept, I think, is the brush that I use quite a lot. And we just worked our way through this drawing of this portrait. So I have moved on from Sketchbook, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to do videos on it. So if you would like to see something particular in Sketchbook, give me a shout, let me know in the comments. If it's animation, we can maybe go back and do an animation lesson or something like that. Thankfully this year's been quite busy for me outside of YouTube. I've been away doing the West Highland Way. I'm just telling you this over while we watch this. You can see if you put the highlights in the eyes, it usually does make a big difference to your drawing. And you can cut and move things around, which is great in any digital art program. But yeah, I was struggling with getting the look that I'm trying to achieve in Sketchbook. I'm trying to get back into drawing again because I haven't had as much time this year with all the other things like the West Highland Way I was away doing with my daughter and those types of things. But you can still see that I think my Sketchbook portrait here, I think this took half an hour, but 35 minutes I think is the video length, and obviously I've speeded it up just to fit it into a smaller YouTube video. But it does work. It does give you good images. It does give you ability to show off digital art and digital art skills. it's not that easy to get what you want sometimes though, and I think sometimes people might struggle with that. They might get despondent about it, and that's why I think you should try and expand into different programs, different digital art programs, just to see what you can find. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you do like, subscribe and all that stuff, appreciate it. And wee Bob is out.